Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. And today I want to talk to you guys about something I've wanted to talk about since I first started this channel. Now that Thanos is out of the picture of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, after the years, nearly a decade of him being teased and seeing him in action on the big screen, what's next for Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know? I mean, yes, we have Phase 4 movies planned out, but who's gonna become the next, big threat towards, Earth and the universe, you know? So, today, I want to talk to you guys about, three supervillains who I feel could replace Thanos in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, let's get started. So, first up, a common supervillain who many people want to see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Doctor Doom. Now, you're probably already thinking, but Doctor Doom's already been done on the big screen, why see him again? Well, thing is, we never really get to see his full potential thanks to 20th Century Fox's mediocre writing. Twice, with both reboots. In the mid-2000s and mid-10s, this is a character who is notorious and brilliant at best in comic books, and on film, we never really got to see that potential. Now, one thing that can be done differently to improve Doctor Doom in this is to have Latveria in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, for those who don't know what Latveria is, it's a fictional country in Europe where Doctor Doom rules. He is basically, well, not basically, he is a leader of Latveria. He's kind of like a despot kind of way that people worship him. I won't go into too much detail, but he just sounds like an interesting character, I would presume, for you guys, if you never heard of him. Doctor Doom is someone who has potential and can become a serious threat if you ever read the comics. You've probably already known how notorious and how smart of a being he is, how his ideology works. Keeping that in mind, if you tease in Doctor Doom in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you also gotta tease in the Fantastic Four. It's the only way that makes sense, you know? It's really just, if you tease in Doctor Doom, it's a good way to tease in the Fantastic Four, or you could tease in the Fantastic Four first and eventually bring in Doctor Doom, however way it can be brought in. But yeah, Doctor Doom is definitely someone who I, like many others out there, definitely want to see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, this could be easier now that Disney owns 20th Century Fox. 20th Century Fox owns the Fantastic Four. It's seems like an ingredient that could come together, but it has to be written well. This isn't just something you just put on there and people will be happy about it. No. You gotta do it right. You gotta show people how brilliant, how evil and twisted, and why people admire this villain so much. Now, coming on to number 2 on who I would love to see is Kang the Conqueror. Now, for those who don't know, I'll just put it at best. Kang the Conqueror is just a time traveler, pretty notorious fellow. He's also someone I would like to see, especially after what Avengers Endgame did with the time travel, and now you have a villain who can do time travel, you know, as I mentioned before with Doctor Doom, you know, it just seems like they can come together, but it's also got to be done right, you know. Kang is a future time traveler from the future, from other dimension, and you know, with the time traveling done in Endgame, you know, I'm sure there are elements that can be done in this film, or excuse me, that have been done in Endgame that can be done well with Kang the Conqueror. For instance, like, you know, like maybe perhaps while there could be a connection with Kang the Conqueror and Endgame, you know, maybe, you know, I don't know what it could be, but, you know, there's definitely some ideas that can work with Kang the Conqueror and, you know, the connection with time travel in Endgame. And finally, this isn't really necessarily like a whole popular or like, you know, the most best idea, but this is more of like a personal thing I want to see in the MCU, and that's to see the leader. Now, for those who saw the 2008 Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, at the time being the Hulk, by the time we've reached the climax of the film, you know, we've seen the Abomination. We see the Abomination knock Samuel Stearns into like a vat of, you know, stuff that makes Bruce Banner the Hulk, like all that DNA and stuff. You know, we see it drip into Samuel Stearns' open wound on his head. They tease Samuel Stearns growing a big brain, and that's pretty much the end of it. That's the last we ever saw of Samuel Stearns, the leader. And frankly, I'm kind of disappointed that, you know, after a good decade, we never see him again. He's never mentioned again, never hinted again. It's kind of insulting, really, you know, to a notorious character like the leader, you know. You know, plus with the Abomination still being alive in the MCU, you know, this could be a good opportunity to have a team up with the leader and the Abomination, you know, work together to take down the Hulk. And the Abomination come together, you know, to take down the Hulk. You know, it just seems like another idea that could work together if it's done right, you know? I mean, it would be weird to have Mark Ruffalo replace Edward Norton in the film, like, as if nothing ever happened, but I don't know what to say about that part. I'm sure, you know, directors or screenwriting, you know, can somehow, you know, push that under the rug and make that seem like Edward Norton's Hulk never existed, but the Edward Norton's character all could still, you know, what's the word? You know, his character could still exist, and, you know, Mark Ruffalo, if he ever got his own solo spin-off, solo film of the Hulk, you know, I would definitely recommend to put in the leader and the Abomination, you know. Plus with Thunderbolt Ross, you can tease in the Red Hulk at some point in there, who is also a character I would really like to see in the MCU at some point, you know. With Thunderbolt Ross, you know, still having a grudge against Banner, still sees Banner as a threat and all. It's just something, you know, that, you know, these are ideas that could work, but Marvel, you know, they eventually got to do this kind of stuff, you know, because, you know, he's the leader for a while now, and to just have him floating around and never mentioned again is just a wasted opportunity and potential, not just on the character's part, but also on the actor's part as well, who played the leader, or Samuel Stearns, in The Incredible Hulk. So, yeah, that's really about it. You know, these are characters who I feel who could replace Thanos in the MCU at one point. You know, these are all notorious supervillains with great abilities, great powers, you know, great ideologies and intelligence. Yeah, these are villains who, you know, are huge threats to not just the Earth, but to the universe and other dimensions as well. And at some point, it could work once we have, you know, once the elements from if you bring the elements in the comic books from Doctor Doom, Kang, or the Leader, you bring those onto the big screen, you bring their character traits, you bring their motives, bring their costumes or designs in the comic books, and this could be a good idea overall. You know, you could tease in the Fantastic Four into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which you could eventually tease in the X-Men and so forth. You know, eventually at one point you could just expand the universe to, you know, unlimited opportunities. I mean, look where we're at now. You know, where we've brought in Doctor Strange and Black Panther and Captain Marvel. You know, we're bringing in characters, you know, we probably never would have thought we would have seen in decades or to come. And I feel right now that this could be the same idea that could apply to supervillains. You know, because today's day and age, you know, I feel like we personally care more about the supervillains than we do about the superheroes. And that's an interesting concept. You get to see their ideologies and their point of view. And, you know, when you bring Kang, Leader, Doctor Doom into the cinematic universe, people could be, you know, could be invested in these characters once you reveal their ideologies and show them what makes these supervillains unique. And yeah, that's really about it. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, just keep an eye out for future videos. Alrighty, y'all take care.